your fancy. You can have it any way you want. Your fancy. You can have anything you like. Your fancy. You can have it any way you want. Your fancy. You can have anything you like.
This is for you, Virgo. March is the month of the angelic frequencies of the gemstone Aquamarine. Your birthstone is Sapphire, Virgo. So what we need to do is see how these two gemstones resonate with each other. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. To contact me, you can visit www.readingsbyrosemary.com, where we provide you with information on our spiritual consultations, psychic astrology, Rosicrucian Kabbalah, as well as classes and upcoming seminars. March's gemstone of Aquamarine has the light emanations of the astrology archangel Amethyst, and your zodiac sign gemstone of Sapphire has the properties of light bestowed by the zodiac archangel Hamaliel. Stay right here as we give you the gemstones particular to your ruling planet of Mercury, Virgo. Emerald, fluorite, moss agate, and sodalite are the precious stones used to align oneself with the energies of the planetary angel Raphael, who is assigned to the planet Mercury in Kabbalah, who is also the archangel of the East, ruling over the warm, moist winds that originate from easterly compass directions. He is the divine physician, corresponding to the Greek god Hermes Trismegistus and the Egyptian god Thoth, thereby being the Roman god Mercury, applying logical justification as well as reason to his familiar levels of bestowal, healing, resourcefulness, and ingenuity. So be mindful of your own intentions and potency when utilizing these powerful gemstones in unison one with the other. The planetary angel Raphael is assigned to the planet Mercury in Kabbalah. So whereas Virgo's guardian angel is Uriel, the earth angel, because it's an earth sign, your ruling planet is Mercury, and Mercury is associated with air signs. So there's that mutable. That's because Virgo is mutable. There's a, and then there's also Taurus, who has an air of earth quality, and Virgo is a water of earth. So sometimes people get confused. But you have to be very precise. We're talking about Mercury's angel, Raphael, who's associated with air angels. But it's interesting to note that Gabriel and Raphael wander around back and forth between the Sephira of Hod and Yesod. Sometimes Gabriel is found in Yesod or Raphael, and sometimes in Hod, Raphael or Gabriel is found, one being a water angel, one being an air angel. So those two elements sometimes can be interchangeable, so understand that. And it'll give you more of an understanding of how Rosicrucian Kabbalah works. So regarding Raphael, which is your ruling planet, Mercury's angel, the Zohar states, the first day of the creation is the synthesis of all the other days. For as there is really no separate fractional moment in time, they only form part of the whole. It is written, God said, let there be light, meaning the angelic beings who are emanations from the light on high that shines forth on the world below, and were created on the first day and took up their position on the right hand of the Holy One. Again, that's from the Zohar, also found in the Zohar. The fact is that the angel Raphael, who was appointed to heal the earth of its evil and affliction and the maladies of mankind, was created on the second day. Again, that's from the Zohar. Mercury is known as the attribute of God, the winged messenger, found in Acts 14:12. And they called Barnabas Jupiter, but Paul Mercury, because he was chief speaker. Your earth guardian archangel Uriel speaks through to you from your Virgo astrology archangel, who is Hamaliel. Your earth angelic horoscope transmission from Virgo zodiac angel Hamaliel now is going to be combined with Uriel, the earth angel, because Virgo is an earth sign, as we mentioned, and your Virgo angel Hamaliel resides over the Virgin's mutable earth nature, and these are his messages for you in the areas of love, money, and health. First, for Hamaliel's love, rapture, and romance transmission, the yellow-green angelic light frequencies of Hamaliel combine with exhilarating, healing oscillations emanating from freshly relaxing vibratory pulses from the gemstone of Aquamarine invigorates your romantic relationships due to provisions made by divine providence through this birthstone's privileged, spiritual, natural 12th house inheritance. Enjoyment of a precise permutation of Zodiac Angel Nitziel's natural 12th house attributes, in addition to your own Virgo energies, bestows to you overflowing quantities of heartfelt personal associations with the traditional zodiac sign of Pisces because of the enchanting, cool, and subtle light beams that sparkle forth from a gem which reserves delightful experience for the holder of such a gemstone. Through a sort of a invigoration and a refreshment of the heart chakra, thus causing great delight in physicality via interdimensional communication made possible through harmonizing with the third eye, crown, and sacral chakras. Hamaliel's money and wealth transmission, then, finances show overflowing abundance for those who spend time getting to know economic principles as well as how to woo money's fickle spirit into a well-prepared lair. That which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below, as is stated in the great alchemical work, the Emerald Tablet, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. It's important here to talk about the not only as above, so below, but also what we're going to talk about a little bit later, Kether's and Malkuth, and Malkuth is in Kether, a well-known Rosicrucian Kabbalistic phrase or teaching. And this is a good time to talk about the opposite and equal action reaction, and people say the threefold law of magic, where you get 3 times what you put out, or you get back exactly what physics will say, an equal and opposite reaction. So, there's all these different sayings, but what's the truth of it? The truth is, it's not that it's necessarily more complicated, but if you consider there are levels. There are levels. Like to mention when people say that a certain type of creature has a soul and a different type of creature does not have a soul. Or some say nobody has a soul, and some say everybody has a soul, and some say only certain people have souls, or whatever. And the truth is always that it's, everything has a soul according to, it's a Kabbalistic teaching. This is a more, it's a very deep Kabbalistic teaching, that everything has a soul according to its ability to receive. And the more ability you have to receive, the more ability you have to have a soul, because the bigger of an ego you can create. But remember, you got to objectify it for it to be God. If it's subjective and it's constricted, then it becomes, as we mentioned last time, and in one of our magic videos, you can look that up, money manifestation. Anyway, if you make your ego small and you are subjective in it, you create Hasatan. If you want to create God, you have to get a large ego, and then you have to objectify that ego. And that's from the teachings from many years of study under many different Kabbalists. Some more traditional, I think, what they consider authentic Hebrew Kabbalistic teachings, and others Rosicrucian Kabbalistic teachers, and then still others more New Age Kabbalistic teachers. I've had many teachers, and I've mentioned most of them ad infinitum in my previous videos. So we have in the 4 worlds of the Kabbalah, there's 10 Sephirot, there's 22 paths in between the 10 Sephirot, and that gives you the 32 paths of wisdom. And we have the 4 worlds that encompass several of these Sephirah and are in line with the chakras as well. So these worlds, these 4 worlds of the Kabbalah, create the name of God, Yud He Vav He, then Hebrew name of God. That's the name of Aries, the sign of Aries, which is associated, from the Egyptian correspondences that Moses brought out of Egypt with their astrology, and then the Hebrew month is associated with these things very clearly, and the breastplate of Aaron and the gemstones and all of that. Whereas the Western calendar, there's an overlap, but we'll get to giving you the Hebrew videos about the Hebrew month and the that's associated with, from the Egyptian teachings and where this all comes from, and the breastplate of Aaron. And of course, there's always a different tradition. It's going to have different variables and associations of what stone goes with what, yada yada. But to stick with the simple Yud He Vav He, the Aries permutation of God, the Yahweh, Jehovah, that's just Aries. That's all it is. So anyway, and that's the head, and that's why. And it's a fire sign. It's cardinal fire. It's the initiatory spark. It's associated with springtime. So we have fire, water, air, earth. We have Yud He Vav He. We have father, mother, son, daughter, the creative sequence. And we have king, queen, prince, princess scales in Kabbalah, in the color schemes of those. So we have the world of Asaya on the bottom, which is the princess world, also attributed to the realm of the flesh and the demons. And then we have the it's called physicality in just regular science or psychology. And then we have, in some other traditions, the world of Asaya, or the world of physicality, is referred to as the substantial, and it's also related to the Sefer of Malkut, the kingdom in Kabbalah. So then you go above that, and you've got Yetzirah, Olam. Olam means world. Yetzirah is formation, the world of formation. And the world of formation is like the planning stage of things. And that's associated with the prince or heir. And then we have, it's associated with the unsubstantial in these other types of traditions. Then we also have, above that, we have the world of Bria. That's water. That's the queen scale. That's the mother. That's the archetypal world in psychology. And it's where the gods and the angels reside. And it's called the divine substantial. Again, that's the archangelic realm, the angelic realm of gods and goddesses. Above that, we have fire. We have the king. We have the father. That's absolute. And that's the creative force of Borei, that is just the force of creation that cannot be stopped. It's life, it cannot be stopped. And that's associated with, again, creation. And some people associate with willpower. But it's not really, you're saying I'm going to do this, because that just wears people out. It's like just creative, just natural life creation. The creative will, the force of Borei. Then we have, that's called the divine unsubstantial, in the traditions that refer to substantial, unsubstantial, and divine. So that is those associations. Now, with that in mind, when we connect one's God self, which is absolute, or the king scale, to receiving monies, as we get it into the physical world of earth, remembering that Virgo is an earth sign, but a mutable one. So we're trying to receive monies, and doing it in a way that coming from the God self, it becomes more fun and more adventurous when it's coming from your spiritual self. It's not so tedious. It's more fun. But you can also remain dignified during an astrological progression where combining Virgo's Sapphire birthstone with your ruling planet Mercury's emerald or sodalite gemstones added to March's Aquamarine gem unites astrology, archangelic forces known to Hamaliel, and Omnitia, reviving businesses great and small with an exuberant force of willpower to allow for spiritual development of your very soul, destined for prominence in the world to come. Experiential divine illumination is projected from within the soul self, then being reflected back towards any individual monad based upon purpose, intent, as well as attitude. The sacral, crown, and third eye chakras are reinvigorated in celestial surroundings with March's gemstone, expecting you to provide others with plentiful opportunity to a world fettered by unnecessary self-restriction. In this way, you provide immeasurably pleasant experiences for yourself, but for others as well. Now for Hamaliel's health and fitness transmission, health centers on complementing upper supernal realms such as crown and third eye chakras, the higher supernals in the world of Absolute. That's Keter, Chokhmah, and Binah. That's in Absolute. And these chakras, through objectively manifesting situations via sacral chakra vortex assertions from divine principle toward physicality, ascending up into more fruitful dimensions, which through well-applied chakra healing techniques are able to be timeless while concurrently substantial. That's the key. Everlasting while concurrently manifesting the physical, substantial kingdom of Malkut. That's what it means. Malkut is in Keter, Keter is in Malkut. Kabbalistic assertion stating this, it's kind of a yin and yang, a little bit of this in the other. Find a place via these 12th house attributes. Since March's zodiac sign of Pisces, ruling planets are concerned with both the lower part of the body, the feet and the head, because of the 12th house Piscean attributes. So it's got both of these sort of Jupiter and Neptune associations, because Jupiter is associated with the lower portions, and Neptune with the higher portions, and that's that Pisces energy. And that's because if Aries is the head, Pisces is the feet, because Aries is usually what we present first and Pisces last when we go through the progression of the astrological signs, and that's where that comes from. So these associations, Jupiter itself is more akin to the sacral chakra. That's the second chakra. It's orange, like the root chakra is red. The solar plexus is yellow. That's the ego. But the sacral chakra is orange. That's the creative force, a beret, which expresses through that. So just remember that these will begin to stabilize in March. And the entire energetic organism will be expressed in Kabbalistic Sephirotic dimensions that are just, again, very similar to other, chakras. And people can say, if the word looks foreign to me and it looks complicated, well, it must mean something, it must be true. But anybody can have a foreign word and have it be complicated, it can be true. But at the core of these things are all identical, and everybody agrees because we're all basically living in the same reality. And this reality is changing very quickly, and we all have to help each other adjust. Okay. So you're going to find the energetic frequencies of Virgo Sapphire or your ruling planet Mercury's gemstone of emerald, fluorite, or sodalite may also be used, added to March's aquamarine gem that motivates during March, causing you to feel more able to accomplish all the things that you set your mind to, especially when it comes to the areas of the mind, the body, and soul healthfulness. Your sacral chakra is considered to be all-important during these natural 12th house sojourns for the principle of establishing fulcrums towards leveraging what is often thought to be hypocritical in attempts to express myriads of anxiety-provoking, ascending lifestyles mixed in with outrageously passionate, almost degrading lifestyles. In other words, aspirations for being real or pragmatic or, let's get real or being realistic might at times appear to conflict with ambitions for a soul's recognition of its own personal godhood. Astrocartographic arrangements currently as well as at birth must be revealed if a holistic style of unveiling one's inner nature is truly desired. A disclaimer is in order here. High magic should be used with all mindfulness, since powerful forces of manifestation are unleashed, intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. Remember to chant your divine tone of I analyze, or try out the higher aspect of simply meditating on the quality of analyzing. And be wise, be well, be all you are meant to be, Virgo. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again next time.